What's good, everybody? Yeah, it's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Guys, Lizzo was recently interviewed and asked a series of interesting questions. Number one, why are you so obese? Stop the show. It's a very interesting question to ask somebody. But how do you deal with being obese? Or how do you deal with being fat? And instead of answering that question directly, she starts talking about all the things around her that are obese. Okay? She says she wakes up to her obese bed. She wakes up to her obese, massive apartment. You know, she's made obese millions of dollars. Her bank account is so obese. And, you know, this was her answer of saying, well, even though I'm unattractive to the majority of the men that I want, my bank account is obese. I'm obese in what is important, okay? I have big, huge homes. I have big, huge opportunities. So, you know, you talking about me trying to call me fat, it doesn't matter when I have materialistic possessions. Now, I want to kind of dial it back. Let's say if we're talking about 10 years ago, we're talking about Rick Ross. Rick Ross is still not as skinny as he could be. He was definitely hella fat. All right, Rick Ross had titties. Okay, if this was a guy talking, a man who was, you know, obese or notorious big or Fat Joe, and you talk about you're fat, well then a guy can say, hey, I got a fat bank account, I have a fat house, I have all of those things, and it makes more sense because men are not judged on their looks like that. All right, now let's look at me. Now, obviously, I'm much more attractive than you niggas listen to this story, and your mama want me. We already know that. But insofar as men, what makes men important in life? Number one, their network, their connections, their ability to create opportunities for themselves. Like if you're looking at basketball players, guys who can create their own shot. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, you know, guys like that, right? Kyrie Irving. These are guys that can create their own opportunities on the floor. Men are also valued for being able to do that, to take something that no one can see and create and build communities. Now, looks are always important for either gender, but if a man can keep himself a little bit in shape, different, his lifespan is long. But when a woman is questioning about this, and she's bragging about the same things that make men what they are, it shows me one thing. You as a woman cannot achieve the kind of guys that you want. And see, here's what Lizzo is trying to do. And a lot of these women out here who are, you will call them, trying to normalizing body positive behaviors, okay? It lets you know one thing. Women do not understand men as much as they believe that they do. Because if she understood men, then she would understand that it doesn't really make any sense how much money I make. If I'm not attractive to the men that I want, it doesn't matter. For guys who have money, understand this. You can have as much money as you want. If the woman that you're interested in doesn't like you, that money means nothing. There are women all across the world. Doesn't matter. Africa, Brazil, you could be in the United States. If a woman doesn't want you, you can't do nothing for her. You can't give her no money. You can't, most of them will say, like, don't even call me. Like, I don't even want to give you my number. They're just not interested. Doesn't matter how much you want her. If she doesn't like you, you will never get anywhere. Here's the same question with Lizzo. Lizzo's a woman. I wouldn't necessarily say that she's ugly. She's a good looking woman, but for many guys, okay, The body positivity is something that doesn't exist. If you are a guy that's like LeBron James, for example, or James Harden, or the guys that she likes, I believe the one guy from the Timberwolves, guys like that, okay? Listen, let's just be a Karl Anthony Towns. Let's just be honest. Nobody is dating a woman that looks like Lizzo. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how often you want to make it normal for women to have the same opportunities as sexually attractive women to these guys. Now, you do have men out there who love nothing but big women. Trust me. Like, those guys are out there. All right? Now, are those guys the same men that women really want to be with? It typically is not the case, right? I mean, the guys who like women who are a little bit bigger, and that's what they like primarily, and they're typically not guys in the NBA. And what shocks me also is this: a lot of women who are as big as Lizzo want to deal with men. Listen to what I'm about to say here, guys. Who are in shape, okay? And Lizzo, as 35, for many guys, she has hit the wall entirely. All right? And you can be bragging about that all day. Here's the real situation for a lot of women, and in case in the black community, a lot of black women. Those women who are successful. If you are not willing to do what it takes to be the wife for the man that you want, it doesn't matter how much money that you have. Let me say it again. It doesn't matter how much money that you have, because for a guy that you want, he will have plenty of options of women who do want to do what it takes to get the man that they want. And what happens is, here's the bigger issue. A lot of black women don't want to do what it takes to get with the black man that they want. I'm gonna be doing a video on that by Earthquake. A lot of black women, not in just America, but in Africa, they want this, they want that from guys. But when it comes for them, putting in the work, putting in the sacrifice to get what they want from these guys, that sacrifice is not there. Like as men, when we want women, when we want to have a wife, there's sacrifices that we have to do. We have to learn how to go to school. We have to work hard to invest. We have to create opportunities to protect the women that we want to be with. Okay? Like there is a if you want to call like a certain walk through masculinity that one must take, to arrive, right? You have to achieve these things to gain your masculinity to grow. A lot of women now, it's like, okay, I'm born, I'm attractive, I look good. That's it. Oh, well, I gained some weight. A lot of women gain weight in coronavirus. Oh, I got somebody else's kids. Well, I'm still a woman, like you should give this to me. And this is the problem. You're not putting yourself in the position and making the same sacrifices to get with the guy as the men are making the same sacrifices to get with you. And then when you don't get those things, you're bragging about the things that you made sacrifices for. Sure, you have money. Sure, you have all of that. But guess what? You're still lonely and you don't have the same kind of guy. I believe she's dating some scrubby Detroit rapper, but you don't have the same quality of guy as the guy on your level. And then don't try to say that those guys are not out there. They just don't want you because you haven't put in the work. Now you're mad, and guess what? It's not my fault. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first company at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at all-time high. I'm out.